I don't know what possessed me, but I decided that if I asked for the ball one more time, and he didn't give it to me, I was gonna grab that metal chair leg and get this video banned from YouTube. So if you watch one of my previous animations, trying to impress the high school bully, then you know the story of Don and Eli. So go and watch that video if you want the full backstory on how we got where we are in this one. In a nutshell though, Eli and I started off as friends in the 7th grade. But by the time we got to the 8th, I noticed that Eli started to change. He started to roll with the bad man there, giving trouble, getting into fights, and eventually he and I had a falling out. Granted, those were Pokemon, but when you're 13, Pokemon is serious business. Okay, fast forward to the 9th grade, and now things are a little different, yeah? Now I'm 14, puberty is starting to kick in, I'm getting taller, muscles are getting bigger, voice, still not deep, but sounding less like a girl every day, and that testosterone is notorious for turning good little boys. And with all of that comes more confidence and less tolerance for niggas trying to press you, especially for bullshit. So here's what happened. It was after school on a typical hot sunny day in Jamaica, and I'm on the blacktop basketball court by myself shooting hoops in my school uniform. So there I am, doing my thing, when through the corner of my eye, I see a familiar face walking up to the court. And I knew what he wanted. He wanted to shoot around. Now if it was anyone else, I would have gladly welcomed the company. But fuck this guy, not just because I didn't like him, but because he was also an ass at basketball, bro. You know what? Garbage, bro. Straight trash. Boom, garboli. And I hated it. That was a feature. So on top of the fact that I didn't like his face, I knew that if he started shooting around, my post-up. That way, there was no way he was gonna get this ball. So there I am practicing, and then he's like, yo, ball. I'll respond. Again, yo, shoot the ball. So then I say to him, working on my hands. Doesn't leave. Still just us on the court. So I'm doing my thing, and I know he's thinking about how he's gonna get the ball. I think he wasn't gonna just try and take it from him. It's not like I was a coward, so I figured as long as the ball didn't roll in his direction, because if I wasn't a tough guy, I was starting to it's not like I was ever a coward, so I figured as long as the ball didn't roll in his direction, I had nothing to be concerned about. I was starting to turn into a big dude, because although I wasn't a tough guy, I was starting to turn into a big dude. And it's not like I was ever a coward. So I figured, as long as the ball didn't roll in his direction, I had nothing to be concerned about. Eventually, though, I do get tired of practicing layups, and I want to start shooting the ball again. So I start to shoot. At first close to the hoop, but with every shot I made, I took a step back. And as I did, the ball kept rebounding in my direction. And it was only a matter of time before he did it though. So now I'm close to the 3-point line. I shoot it, it goes in. But this time, the ball didn't rebound in my direction. It goes to Eli. So Eli gets the ball, and now he starts shooting. Of course he misses. It was garbage. So I'm standing there, waiting for the dude to pass me back the ball, because I know he saw me make it. For the first 2 shots, I don't say anything. But then I was like, hey, yo, pass the ball, I made the last shot. Now he's ignoring me. So I'm like, yo, pass my ball. Reminding him that this was my ball that I brought from home. The nigga starts practicing his ball handling skills. He's crossing over, he's dribbling. So now he's not even shooting. And he still ignored. So now I'm like, okay, I see what it is. The dude didn't come here to shoot around. He didn't want to get shots up. Nah, he was just bored and wanted to get under my skin. Well, he was doing a pretty good job. So I'm like, yo, pass my ball. He looked at me, was like, go suck your mother. I was like, oh, gotta kill him. So now my blood is boiling. My heart rate starts to spike, and I'm getting that tunnel vision because it became obvious. The only way I was gonna get my ball back is if I took it from him. And that's when I remembered the broken chain. Before basketball practice, some of the guys were goofing around and throwing around this old metal chair that someone had took from a classroom. It had been outside for a while, and it started to rust. And while the guys were tossing it around, one of the legs broke off, and I remembered that it was just sitting under the sideline bench. I don't know what possessed me, but I decided that if I asked for the ball one more time, and he didn't give it to me, I was gonna grab that metal chair.
Circle's the best move ever. If you don't wanna, Mando on my... Yes! Let go! Let go! Get shot back! So you see how good I am at hitting you? Yep, boy. I'm the guy who blew. I'll blue. Like, not the big guy, I'm like this. That's... Yeah, like this. I'm not big! I'm like this! Oh, your wings should be blue. The kid got me green. I can't shoot, but I...
Yeah, that's your fault. If you wasn't playing around, we could have actually won the game.
$1 is all you need with the $1
They're not, but...
Get the bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, my tail! Look at this. I had to one because I had to get my shooting badges up. I have no shooting badges. I need some. I used to.
Oh my god, bruh.
That's the greatest dude. Let's imagine Steph Curry, James Harden, and Ray Allen.
Bro, stop losing the ball, my guy.
Look at Ray Allen.
This man just keep losing the ball, bro.
I got ball.
Don't lose the ball again, bro.
Can you? What?
Uh-oh.
Hey, this is dumb. Not dumb for that.
Barely. And get this video banned from YouTube. If you ask me
But,
when
can you
that
jump?
goes, I'm a
But,
good guy.
can you jump?
Giant. That big old cookie bear, right? But it was hot. And I had a short temper. And I held a
You could have grabbed that.
So I asked him one more time. Yo, back off. Don't you? So I say, bet. And I started to walk over. Come
on!
I was just gonna grab this and start swinging my nigga. So as I'm walking to the bench, I think God sat up in heaven and looked down. I was like, yo, this nigga really about to do this shit. If I let him do that, I ain't gonna have nothing to watch on YouTube in 10 years. So I'm reaching under the bench when I hear the rim go ka-clunk. Eli shot the ball, bricks off the rim, no surprise. But then he bounces gently.
A guy wouldn't shit, man.
Right under the bench where the chairman was. Now I had a decision. I could get this chair leg and rearrange Eli's medulla oblongata, or pick him up all, go home.
Right down.
Pick up the chair leg and right up on it.
He's a pinky.
No. I wouldn't be here right now, guys.
Is that why you want to press me? Okay. I know why you want to press me.
Home. I'm going home. Yo, lobby tree. Yo, anyway, okay. So that's the story, guys. I picked up my mom, went home. I went to my dad's office. story yet? Not sure. So much going on. But yeah, Eli and I never spoke after that. Never had any issues with him, never had any issues with me. Just kind of avoided each other. But not easy.
Yeah, Flippy!
I think I saw him on graduation day. To be honest, I think he gave me a head nod on graduation.
I always like Nice! Come on! Take more passes.
No, it's hard keeping track of me. Looking at my wrist, I never feel like I can do too much. Pour my heart and my soul out. If I never get it, they can say I didn't do enough. I hope someone you love me without living on. I was counting dollars doing all out. Now I can't believe these niggas telling me to go. Now everyone's
Back.
so Eli's like, what do you mean?
Play the alley-oop! What I did an alley-oop, let's go!
Bro, chill out, bro. It's just a freaking video game, man.
Nice alley. Get dunked on, midget. Is that a midget right there? I got weed. Clear.
Bruh.
The game is just started, bro. He probably can know what he should. Oh, no, he's a slasher. He can't shoot. He only can dunk. He's a midget. I don't know why he makes himself a midget. He sucks.
So, when you catch one, you wear it like a badge. Now, of course,
You can't do that. You're too small. Look, look up, look up, look up, look up, look on.
Now, this time, it was still okay
Why would you jump?
to play Pokemon. Like, cool kids were
Stupid
still
idiot.
With you.
participating,
With you.
right? But this was completely changed by the 9th grade.
You play
Anyone
around
who
too
wanted
much,
to
bro.
play Pokemon in the 9th grade, they're like a kid, you know? But best believe niggas was still playing Pokemon in the 9th grade.
Oh my god. I hate you, man. You can't not on my side.
That's pretty much what high school is.
2K not on my side.
I noticed a group of kids circling around the lunch table, and I saw a couple of my friends. So I made my way to the table. I get there, and I see two dudes are locked into a 1v1 Pokemon. Before there was pictures, FaZe Clan, and all of this shit, niggas huddled around a lunch table watching two dudes play each other with their Game Boys tucked in their backpacks so they wouldn't get caught by a passing team. So the battle ended, and the dude gets to talking, and then the dude that lost started making music, blaming the fact that the other dude, Eli, had a team consistent of only 2 Eli, of course, summed it up with a classic line. Life's not fair, right? Maybe if you got that Kyogre crowd on you, talking about, you might actually win. I'm gonna bring me a game shark, I'm gonna get the fusion, and then I'm gonna tax that ass. Nigga, shut the fuck up. I already told you that fusion shit ain't real, nigga. It don't exist. And then for some reason, I got one. Now everyone's looking at me. So Eli's like, what do you mean? You got it? And I'm like, yeah, I got one. I got one. And my boy got a game shark. Don, you got a Kyogre crowd on you? See my thing?
You don't take over yet?
Not yet. Pass it.
Okay. No, it's A minus A.
Alright, tomorrow I'll bring
An
you
A.
tomorrow. And I started walking away. And I start to panic because I don't even know what a Kyogre crowd on is.
This mid's gonna want to
First, so this is Kyogre, and this is
I
Groudon,
wanna
right?
cook this.
These are legendary people. Well, back in 8th grade, there
Whoa.
was rumors floating around that you were able to get your hands on a Game Shark, which was basically a device for cheating. Using the fuse of Groudon with a Kyogre and making super legendary.
Okay, now I'm staying pink. This is
No,
kind of
they're not staying pink, bro.
Impossible to get a Game Shark
Why?
to make. It simply wasn't sold on the island at the time. Well, my childhood best friend, Jerry, had recently come. He had a lot of family who lived in America.
You wanna get him? Alright. Alright, fine. You saying pink then. Go ahead. Go ahead and be in pink. See what you got. You don't
no,
go.
both staying pink.
Bring the Kyogre to school. Let everybody know that I'm there.
Oh, that was wrong, right?
He said to grab that, bruh.
My god, this fucking.
Bruh, you should have grabbed the ball right when it landed on the ground, bruh. You slow.
And because of that, Eli and I were cool. In the 7th grade, when we both started high school, neither of us used to
about it.
so we were boys, you know, we hang out during lunchtime, hang out after school. It was cool to just have somebody I knew in this new environment. Well, during the summer break, 7th and 8th grade, in our 2nd year of high school,
How do he make those?
something happened. So Eli started rolling with the tough guys, you know, he became a bodybuilder. I didn't see him anymore in church, and when I ran into him during 8th grade, he was acting all, you know,
I'm about to do that.
like you do. Well, and you know, 13, immature, young, when you see a dude that you used to roll with, who's up on you, you know, kind of
He didn't pass the ball!
I thought we were boys. Now you're a cool dude, tough guy, niggas respect
No
you.
hole!
Locally, I'm sorry.
Everybody be on ball! With the plan!
That's kind of how I felt, you know. And I knew I wasn't gonna be no tough guy anytime soon. So in a weird roundabout way, I thought everything went
don't. No, it doesn't. I know math. I go A minus A and A plus. I did. Me too. Well, I'll be a pink squad. I'm on the pink. I'm on the blue team.
Digging myself deeper, bro. I don't even know why, bro. So, she lets it slide. I'm like, cool. So the week comes around. My mom gives me permission to go to church. Right? So I get there, and after we chill for a little bit, I'm bringing the Tyler. I'm like, yo, Shay, he's like, man, what you need? I got you. What you want? You? You too? I know. What? Nah, you know, nah, like, ain't there, like, bro, ain't there a he needs some milk! That's when I realized I was fucked. Because Jared knew more about Pokemon than anyone else I knew. And he didn't know about Tyodon. There ain't no Tyodon, bro. So fast forward to Monday, and I decide to just pretend like nothing's going on. So I'm walking through the campus, and of course, I run into Don. What's up, bro? Hey, what's up, blood? What's up? What's up with Tyodon? Don? I think God, when you say you got one, right? Yeah, I got one, bro. I just did my thing, man. And we both knew that was one. It was all, it's not like we were friends anymore. I didn't always mention it. He never told me. trying to turn up? No. She's like, sure. So I give her a turn on the elliptical. And I've always been super competitive, right? Anytime my sister and I were playing anything, I'd of course, being older and a boy, I won. Then I was like, okay, how about this? Let's see who can make it go backwards the fastest. Surprise, surprise, I'm that guy. And my sister wasn't a sore loser, but there's only so much loss any person can take before they don't want to play anymore. Realizing that, I tried to come up with something based on the elliptical that she could maybe win, right? So here's what I came up with. The challenge was, my sister was to get on the elliptical and start pedaling at full speed, as hard as she could. I was then going to attempt to bring it to a stop by putting my foot on the foot pedal thing and apply force in the opposite direction. Basically, I was thinking, I'm so much stronger than my little sister that even as she's pedaling the elliptical at full speed, I'll be able to stop it. Well, turns out that's not how physics work. And unfortunately, you don't learn the formula for momentum until after the 3rd grade. So I didn't realize that once she got the elliptical going, I was going to be pushing against not just her strength, but as well as all the force that she would have generated from turning the elliptical as fast as she could. So there she is, pedaling at full speed. I'm standing beside her with what I am sure was a very smug look on my face, as I was sure this could only end one way. She gives me the signal to say, all right, take a shot. I pick up my foot, time her rotations, and then I slam my bare foot down on the pedal. Not only was I unable to stop the elliptical, but it was going so fast that it flung my foot right into the rotating wheel at the front of the elliptical. And remember, this was in like 2003, 2004 when ellipticals didn't have the protective coverings over the wheels that they got today. Needless to say, my foot might as well have been thrown into a rotating cheese grater. My grip from my hands, and how bad my toes were hurting. I was expecting her to say, yo, your toes, they're gone. I'm like, yo, how bad is it? She's like, pretty bad. So I muster up the courage, and I take a look. I didn't know it was possible for that much blood to come from such a small part of your body, but my toe was leaking, bro. Luckily, it was still attached, but there was a nasty gash on the toe beside my big toe, and all the other toes were fucked. But the one beside the big toe, that one looked like it was in trouble. So I call out for my auntie, who took care of us while my mom was at work. She comes in the room and is like, what did you do? She sees the blood, she sees the guilt on our faces, and she knew right away that we did some dumb shit with the elliptical. She gets some hydrogen peroxide, some bandages, cleans up the wound, just had a really bad flesh wound. I wasn't going to be able to wear shoes for a couple of weeks, but at least I wasn't going to lose my toe. And my mom was mad, but she was more relieved that I didn't cut off my toe. Anyway, a few days pass, and I've started to put the incident behind me when my dad stops by the house to visit me and see how I was doing. It was like a Saturday morning, and I'm happy to see him, as I'm always happy to see my dad. He sees me, cracks she's like, I ain't have service. I'm like, so you didn't see? Where did you think I was? I don't know anyone here. I have nothing here. As a guy, you were one of either two kinds of boys growing up. Either you were the kind of boy that punched holes in the walls, or you were like, I don't know, a dude that grew up to be like a functioning member of society or some bullshit. I don't know. Listen, if you've watched my channel for any period of time, you would know that I definitely do not fall into the second category. Now, I can remember 3 holes specifically that I punched. You know, the other kind of hole, who knows how. The first hole. So I have a little sister. She's 2.5 years younger than me, and she's very sweet girl. But trash at music, bro. I mean, she's good at like girly games, you know, like The Sims, Fortnite. I'm kidding about the Fortnite. This one time my dad bought me Super Mario Bros. 2, right? And there are only 2 things you need to know about this game. One, it's Mario, so like that. And then 2, in a bubble. And then both of you guys in. So, me being the loving big brother that I am, and also having a crippling ability to handle losing, I invited my sister to play the game with me to help me get through the story. So we're playing the game, right? And we're playing a very hard level. I can remember that. And we must have lost several times because my blood is starting to boil, right? So we're running through the level, and then I die, right? So I'm in the bubble. And my sister had like the big Luigi, you know, like she had eaten a mushroom, so she's running around. So I'm like, hey, yo, no pressure, no rush, but when you get a chance, yo, let a nigga out of this bubble, right? I knew she wasn't gonna last long. And of course, she gets hurt, right? So now she's the little Luigi, right? So now I'm like, yo, all right, get me out of this bubble. We about to lose, yo. And my poor baby sister, she was like 10 or 11 at the time, right? With the weight of the world on her shoulders. Then, yeah, bro, she dies, she gets in the bubble, and then she doesn't even look at it. Because she knows she can't. She can't. She shouldn't. It would be bad. I was like, angry. And my sister is not like having a good time. You know, like, she's doing this just to spend time with me. Like, she didn't even like Mario, nigga, but she took it so seriously because it was important to me that we beat this fucking game. I get up, and I'm shaking, and then I just punch the fucking door. Now, the door was made of wood, and it was also hollow. So, like, my hand just went straight through that shit, you know? So I punched through the door into regret. Because my mother is still Jamaican, nigga. Like, she's definitely gonna come home and murder me and break my weed. So I'm like, fuck, right? My sister looks at me and is like, everybody gonna die. So now I'm just sitting there, still mad that we lost, by the way, but also scared because death is approaching. And then what I think I did is I found like a picture or a poster. The second hole was also because of my sister. This was a lot later though. I was like 22. YouTube had just taken off, so I was moving out of my friend's house in San Diego, and I was gonna get my own place in Austin, Texas. And in that in-between period, I stayed in New York with my dad, which is where my sister lives. So I'm in New York, crashing it on the couch, you know, because it was super last minute. And right before I left San when you're in it, you know, it's all like, you know, sunshine and roses and flowers and fucking, you know, good feelings. But once I was able to, like, get away from her physically, I could look at the decision and I was like, this was not the best decision. Wasn't quite quite ready to break up, I was getting there. We were arguing a lot, and I was just on edge. You feel me? Also sleeping on the couch in the hell. All this while trying to find a place to live in Austin, Texas, which, by the way, was a place I had never been before. So I was stressed, right? So one day, right, my sister was still in the middle of the winter school semester, and she needed me to take her down to the college.
I'm about to hop off for a bit.